Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport with me, Jamie Davies, and alongside me in this video we have George Harris, who is a Chelsea fan, and Dan Middleton, a regular face, who is our Leicester fan. And Dan Middleton's gone through a lot of emotions, not just this weekend, but throughout Let's Talk Sport. We witnessed him when his team were about to get relegated to staying up, to winning the Premier League, and now to giving up top four at this rate. Because Dan, we're here to debate top four. It's between Leicester, Chelsea, Man United, other clubs as well of Wolves, maybe Sheffield United and a few others, but the main priority are these three teams. And Dan, we've got to start off with you. What's going on with your team? Because you guys, before the lockdown, looked determined to be at least third or second place. What's going on?
Giving everyone else a chance, aren't we? That's what it is.
There we go.
We're giving everyone a little bit of the carrot on the end of the stick and just getting everybody to come towards us, and then bang.
Oh, Ben Chilwell strike.
Spank Palace this weekend. No, if being serious though, it's been really tough to watch. I think we haven't got going at all. I think there's been no plan B. It's just been frustrating because we know how good we can be, and we just haven't had that momentum. That momentum stopped basically, and we've just found it hard to get going again. But once we find a little bit of form, all it takes is one win, and obviously hopefully that comes this weekend. But all it takes is one win to just spark something, and we'll be absolutely fine. So I've not got any issues with this at the minute. I'm not worried, but I am starting to look over my shoulder a little bit.
Well, we did hear police sirens just then. They're looking for the head of Brendan Rodgers after those last few games, I'm sure. George Harris, Chelsea fan, big shock for you, wasn't it, in midweek? It looked as though it was all pole position for you to get at least fourth place, but that defeat to West Ham United on the last minute has changed everything.
I know. I was actually quite optimistic, thinking that we could actually turn it up and get up to third. But I think that game it just typified our whole season. Really, we kind of dominated patterns of. But no clinical finishing, and so suspect defensively. It's actually hard to watch at times. I don't. Frank summed it up, and it's something that we've got to improve as a team. But when we were going for the win, you've lost me now. When we were going for the win, we were committing people forward, and we were always liable to get caught on the break. But I certainly wasn't expecting it. I thought, looking at our fixtures, I thought West Ham and Watford coming up next. I thought that was 6 points in the bag, really. And then, we've got tougher games to come. So, yeah, now I'm definitely concerned looking at our run compared to maybe United's. It's such a fine line. We could have been third, and now we're looking at maybe we might even finish sixth if you look at the fixtures. So I am worried, yeah, for sure.
I think as well, Dan, at the start of the season, no one would have thought Leicester would have been a top four contender. But does it feel now that it would be a massive blow if they didn't get top four because of how long they've been up there for?
Oh yeah, it'd be criminal if we didn't get it now. It'd be horrible to see us drop. Having been in such a good position for most of the season now, with only a few games to go, you sort of stumbling across the finishing line, aren't we? And making it hard.
Dragging yourself.
Yeah, and we don't need to make it that hard for ourselves. I mean, I'll put it back into a bit of perspective. I don't think we've played badly in most of the games since the restart. We just haven't got the results, and we haven't put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, I take the FA Cup game a little bit away from the Premier League, but first off, I said in the review on Let's Talk Sport, so make sure you go and obviously check that out. But we should have been 3 up at half time. We just don't take the chances at the minute. We get into positions, and really good positions, and we've got players that can hurt any team, just not putting the ball in the net, and that's the biggest concern, because I think we're playing okay defensively. It's going forward where we're struggling in that final third. And Palace are a side this weekend that are a physical side. They'll get it in our faces, but they're not afraid to play the ball around, which could be a positive for us because there's going to be gaps there. And hopefully we get 3 points to keep us third, really, but obviously keep us in the top four as the main goal.
I think what's really weird about the whole thing is, George, United were laughed about really with Solskjaer at the beginning of the season, but the perspective. I mean, as a United fan, the perspective is third place is a possibility. And who would have thought a man like Bruno Fernandes has kept United unbeaten since he's pretty much joined. And, you know, Solskjaer, in my eyes, United have got the easiest fixtures out of the 3 teams. So, I mean, the pressure's on all 3 teams still, but who do you think would be the favourites to get third at least?
I agree. I think you've got to look at momentum, and I think at the moment you'd have to say on form and how they've been playing. I think United are probably at my tip to get certainly in the top 4, possibly take that 3rd spot while the other, you know, Leicester and ourselves drop. Like you said, Fernandes is probably, you know, I think arguably other than Kevin De Bruyne, he's probably the hottest player in the Premier League at the moment, the way he's playing. And they definitely seem to be on the right track and what Ollie's trying to do with the United team. I think from our point of view, I think we've been very inconsistent. I mean, it's still in our hands. I mean, we you know, I always thought looking at the fixtures, we can afford 1 slip because we had the 5-point gap. And we've had that now. So now it's up to us and it's still in our hands, which you know, if you want to be in any position with 6 games to go, you'd have to say that you'd rather be the team that it's in their hands rather than rely on other teams. But like you said, I think you've got the favourable fixtures to come. So, you know, we've still got to play Liverpool, you know, so it's really tough. And, you know, I think being a Chelsea fan, I'd like to see Leicester and Chelsea take the 3rd and 4th and United drop, but we'll see. And it's very open. And, yeah, I can't call it. I really couldn't call it, to be honest, because we've had games like, you know, we beat Manchester City and I don't think people gave us a chance, and then lose to West Ham. So I can't call it from my end for sure.
Dan, I guess really when you look at the top 4, I mean, obviously for Leicester, 4th or 3rd, it doesn't matter to them. Either way, it's a Champions League spot, which, I mean, the finance for Leicester again would help them so much.
Well, it could even be 5th.
Well, it could be, yeah. That's what I find weird about this.
We've still got that 2-place differentiation, haven't we? So even if we drop to 5th, there is still a chance that we can get Champions League. So all is not lost if we drop out the top 4. But you want to keep it in your own hands, I think, as George mentioned. So you want to keep it in your hands, keep in the top 4, and keep picking up points where you can. And again, for us, that starts on Saturday. It's almost like a new season for us. We've got to get going again. We've got to treat each game as a cup final and go, look, we've got to pick up 3 points every week now, and we can't afford even 1 slip up, because you know what Chelsea are capable of. They've got a fantastic side. Frank Lampard's got that team playing, and arguably United are the informed side in the league. The way that Solskjaer's got Bruno Fernandes, he's got Pogba back playing. Martial looks fantastic. And of course, you've got Rashford in there, who's always going to get you a goal against any team.
Greenwood. Yeah, there's plenty. Yeah, there's loads. I know, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is the thing. There's teams around us that can pick up points from anywhere and are full of quality. So we've got to make sure, from a personal point of view, that we start picking up points against teams that we should be beating. And that's the bottom line. We can't afford to keep dropping points at, Brighton, for example, which we have to beat teams like that, and we're not. So Saturday's the biggest test for us, and making sure that we pick up 3 points.
Just a quick one, lads. Of course, you mentioned the whole thing with Man City. As far as we are aware, there's no ban at the moment. Of course, there still needs to be a case decided. Do you guys, I mean, look, it could either be 2 years, it could be a year ban, but do you guys believe it will happen? Do you believe it will be us 3 together that would be in the Champions League next season? Let's start with you, George.
Yeah, get them out. Well, I mean, for different circumstances, I mean, we had the transfer ban, so I think certainly I think they have to enforce it. I think they've got to start putting us, for any club that does things like that, they need to start taking action, because otherwise, clubs just start taking the mick, don't they? And if it goes unnoticed, and I think if you do it to a club like Manchester City, who they literally thrive on, being in the best European competition, I think if you did it to one of the big clubs like that, I think then things would start to get noticed. And yeah, I mean, obviously that would be a hope for all of us. I think, particularly you, Jamie, being the red half of Manchester. Yeah, I think they've got to, but whether it will happen or not, I don't know, because I don't know. I don't have much confidence in UEFA myself, but
No, you just never know. I think it's funny, actually, as we mentioned Chelsea with their transfer ban, they love buying from Leicester. Drinkwater, Kante, you name it.
Yes. We
Let's
want
ask you.
Chilwell next. We'll have Ben.
Chilwell, no. They
Yeah,
are.
but we can't drink water as a good transfer. we had your pants down just like we had United's pants down with Maguire. We're good at this sort of thing.
Yeah, that Maguire, yeah, that was a lot of money. Dan, quickly, your thoughts on the whole City bit and UEFA relationship going on there?
I agree with Georgia. I don't have any faith in UEFA, and even if they enforce the ban, City are still going to go and buy players. It's just the way it is. Like, you look at PSG, Barca, that have been in these sorts of bans before, and they were still buying players. And you think, well, how are they getting around it? There's loopholes in the system. So it's clearly not enforced to the letter of the law. So it doesn't matter for City because they've still got a strong enough side anyway. It's not like they're a mid-table team getting these sorts of bans, or a championship side getting bans where they can't buy anybody and they've got pretty weak, well, decent 11s, but a weak squad that you need throughout a season. City are blessed with talent across the pitch, and even their youth players. You look at Phil Foden, you look at some of the other youth lads, Eric Garcia, for example. They've got
Garcia's
a
fantastic.
of talent. Yeah, they've got a plethora of talent coming through. So it doesn't matter to them if they get a transfer ban or not. They're in a position for Pep, if he stays, that they can fight for titles year on year without having to worry.
And I guess really to wrap up, I would like to get your honest predictions. I'll start off with you, George. I want your honest prediction for who will finish 3rd, 4th and 5th. And you can pick out a team that doesn't even include our clubs here if you're really honest.
It's so hard to call. It's just been chopping and changing. But I'm going to go with United 3rd, Leicester 4th, and Chelsea outside. Top. I just think with the fixture list, we've got United to play. We've lost them twice already. I think maybe even 3 times this season.
You forget that League Cup, George. 3 times in a row we've been.
Yeah.
Just point that out later.
Yeah. Just point that out. So I can't, and I think Leicester will eventually get going again. I think exactly what Dan said. I think Brendan will say, the season starts here, and they've got the quality to do it. And I just think Chelsea might just get put to the post for 5th, possibly.
Dan, let's get your honest predictions.
I'm shocked after that. So
I'm a bit honest.
I think we've got the toughest winning of all. We've still got United to play last game of the season. We've got Spurs, we've got Arsenal, we've got Sheffield United who are no pushover after what they did to Spurs. That'll be a tough game. I think we finished top 4, but I don't think we finished 3rd. I think Chelsea finished 3rd. I think we finished 4th. I think you finished 5th, Jamie.
That hurts. That hurts. My heart is just bleeding.
But there is still a chance, as we mentioned, with the Man City fiasco, that you still get in. But I think we start to pick up points. We start picking up points Saturday. We've got Bournemouth to play, who at the minute are in absolute turmoil. And my guess is Eddie Howe will be the first manager gone before the end of the season.
Incredible.
Just an awful side at the minute. They've got no players, and half of them are looking to leave. I think we'll finish 3rd, but I think it will be going down to the last few games of the season. Again, the last 2 games for us are Spurs and United. So again, 2 tough games, but we tend to play better against the big 6. So there's a chance that we pick up points where we probably shouldn't, and drop points where we shouldn't. So it's just it
always happens, doesn't it?
So that's 3rd, Chelsea 4th, and you lot stay outside the top 4.
Oh, absolutely disgusting. To be honest, I'll share mine. And some people may think I'm not being honest, but I'm just going to go down to form. I will say Man United 3rd, but again, there's plenty of games yet for us to slip up. So I know I said we may have the easiest of fixtures, but anyone can slip up in the Premier League. Any club can cause surprises on the day. I'm going to go with Chelsea 4th, Leicester 5th. So I know George might like that.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
but Dan has probably decided to send a bomb towards my house.
I can't say anything. I'd be a massive hypocrite because I've just tipped you to finish as well, so I can't exactly be mad at that. But I am at it, but I don't want to be.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.